Hi all. Welcome to Cloud Architect's Notebook, your ultimate destination for streamlined cloud engineering and solution architecture insights. As the first session today, we'll be discussing about cost-effective scaling, a real-world case study where optimizing RDS expenses while simultaneously facilitating business growth. I'm Udar Vijayaratna. I'm the VP of Engineering at Belarus. Let's jump into the problem. So, to give you a background about Velaris, where this case study actually occurred, it's a SaaS B2B customer data platform for customer success management. It's a Octopus Ventures managed venture capital funded startup and 100% running in AWS. In 2022, November, December, in our AWS account, we saw a sudden cost surge. It was around 140% increase when it comes to our AWS cost. We quickly analyze where this cost actually is occurring. We figure out it's mainly due to RDS cost surge. This 140% mainly for RDS expenses. November, the RDS expenses were around $3,200, but in December, massively increased to 8,200, which was alarming for us because we are a startup in our very early days. As you can see in the diagram itself, right, November, the average cost per RDS was around 100, $510. But from December 1st onwards, it was increased by $140, the average spend on RDS, close to daily cost around 240 to $250. This is a real bad situation for a startup in their early stage. So what we did was we quickly jump in and ensured carried out a very detailed analysis what is the real root cause behind this RDS cost surge. Before moving into that detailed analysis, I'll give you a quick brief about what we had during the November December period in the architecture. We have been a very high level. As you can see in the diagram on the right hand side, we had the Aurora Postgres RDS cluster, which is catering for the SaaS product, the web app, and the microservices, and also for the BI reporting purposes, where you run heavy ETL jobs as well. So I would say two services, SaaS product and ETL plus BI reporting catered by a single Aurora Postgres RDS cluster. That's number one. But why sudden 140% increase? We checked, okay, during November to December period for our startup, we acquired four new customers, right? Which was a massive achievement at that particular time. Business growth. Everyone was really happy. But those four customers were heavy in data. They had a lot of data to be processed. So a lot of data or heavy with data means the processing for the ETL jobs will take more and more compute, more and more processing power, right? SaaS product will behave as normal, but for the BI reporting purposes, the ETL, extract, transfer, load jobs will take more computation power. More computation means heavy in RDS IOPS, an increase in input output operations per second in the Aurora Postgres cluster. That was our assumption. Business growth, heavy ETLs producing lot of RDS IOPS. Now we have assumption we need to ensure we can conclude this is the real root cause behind the sudden cost surge. Luckily, AWS is providing a very detailed breakdown about your costs, right? Where the cost actually occurs and what are each and every line item where they can pinpoint. So as you can see in this diagram, you can clearly see in the relational database service, right, under this red colored rectangular, the cost per IOPS, right, in Aurora Postgres. $0.2 per 1 million IO request, Aurora Postgres SQL. Think about the number of IOPS happened during that particular month, right? And the number, 100% tally with our assumption, right? IOPS is the main root cause behind the sudden cost surge. Super. We were really happy. We were able to find the root cause, and it is 100% confirmed from the AWS Cost Explorer. This is the root cause, IOPS. Too many IOPS. Now, quickly, as soon as possible, we need to bring a solution for this. So we did further more analysis about this, and what is storage IO, how we can reduce it. We did more and more analysis. So some findings, some useful findings was, so Aurora will scale the storage and IO automatically. That's the beauty of Aurora Postgres or Aurora MySQL clusters. Brilliant. In some use cases. But if you have huge IOPS happening, right, AWS is providing a different solution for that. So there's a concept called provision IOPS SSD volumes. Those are actually used for highest performance EBS storage volumes, basically designed for critical IOPS intensive and throughput intensive workloads. It is 100% matching with our use case. We have heavy IOPS intensive, throughput intensive workloads. So it's a matter of deciding, okay, we should not go towards the Aurora, right? Because it's automatically scale the IO and the storage, all good. But for our use case, we need some provision IOPS. We say, okay, this much of IOPS we will provision to handle our load. Beyond that, please don't automatically scale. So that was the final conclusion we had, right? From the analysis, we have to go with provision IOPS. So end of the day, we came up with this solution with that analysis on pretty much in our head, right? Decoupling the reporting data load from the SaaS product workflow. Look at the diagram. You have the Aurora Postgres RDS cluster catering the microservices and the web application, the SaaS product as it is, no changes there, zero changes, zero impact. But we introduced a new database cluster, which is Postgres RDS. It's not Aurora, it's Postgres engine running, right? And that Postgres RDS is catering for the ETL jobs and the BI reporting. Why we went ahead with Postgres RDS was because it supports the provision IOPS. Look at the pricing, it's totally different than Aurora. It's 0.116 per IOPS month of the provision IOPS. So it's, when it comes to final calculation, it's far lower than the Aurora Postgres IOPS cost. So that's number one, right? So decoupled, all good, two databases running for different services, catering different services. Now the next big challenge was you need that real-time data sync between these two database clusters with Aurora Postgres and the reporting Postgres RDS cluster, because reporting should be near real time, up to date. So to do that, we again analyzed so many different services which is provided by AWS, Glue, Athena, then like running it our own using script and all, right? But end of the day, we figure out AWS data migration service is the best service to handle this replication with very less headache for the operational people, because AWS DMS is fully managed by AWS. Nothing to worry, right? And up until now, the replication from Aurora Postgres to the Postgres reporting RDS is happening without very less issues. I would say 99.99 we are running it smoothly. That is also sorted. This was done. The DMS actually took more time because we have to do some POCs to ensure it's running perfectly well. So final conclusion was the solution came into the picture was decoupling the reporting data load and using DMS do the replication without any issues. Perfect. Now, what do you think? What do you all think from this particular solution, the achievement or the accomplishment we were able to gain actually? Any guesses? Like cost reduction from now it's 8,000 RDS, $8,000 RDS cost per month. What do you think? 5,000, 3,000, or 6,000? The new cost? Let's see. The accomplishment was amazing, right? We were also surprised with these numbers. As you can see in the diagram, December, everyone was pretty bad or feeling very sad because business growth happened, and in parallel, the infrastructure cost also went way high, right? So 8,000 in December, with these quick changes, we were able to reduce it back to that $3,300, $3,200 per month. 140% cost reduction in RDS expenses, mainly from this architectural change. A massive, massive accomplishment with the team. We were able to bring this down. So key takeaways from this particular solution is there are three, right? So number one, which I described throughout, right? Use provision IOPS storage if you require high IO intensive workloads. You can see from the numbers, right? So as a startup, we normally start with what we have is the best for that particular time, right? So but gradually when it comes to more and more business growth, infrastructure level changes will come. So we identified now it's time to move to the provision IOPS, right? So we did it. That's number one. Number two, you have to make accurate design choices at the right moment, and you have to do it as soon as possible. Why this is important is, let's think, we were like $8,000 increase is there, right? And we were waiting. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead with it. No issues, right? We have enough money in our pockets to run another couple of years as a startup. All good, right? If we had that mindset, right, it's terrible to your organization, right? Key thing is, yeah, there will be some design choices you have to take, right? But you have to take it at the correct time and you have to implement it as soon as possible. We were able to do this within 2 to 3 months. Everything was back to normal, right? That's number two. The third point is one of the critical ones. You have to continuously reassess the architecture during business growth, plus a thing you have to do very very often, right? Every 3 months, every like 6 months, monthly, doesn't matter, but continuously reassess the architecture. Why this is important there? Because there is nothing called perfect architecture. There is always enough gaps, plus there is always new technologies or new solutions coming in, especially in AWS, right? New things coming in which can give you more benefits to your current architecture and the product. So continuously reassess. What I do normally is I will reassess the architecture based on the AWS well architectured framework. I'll go through it and see whether there are any gaps or whether there are any improvements I can bring into my architecture, the SaaS product, and try to implement them as soon as possible and thinking about the right time to do that as well. So thank you very much. Hope you all learned or took something out of this first session of Cloud Architects Notebook. Feel free to give your honest feedback through scanning this QR code in the left hand side, and a detailed explanation about the session I actually did today is in the soessentials.com. You can go there and have a quick read as well. Thank you very much. There will be more sessions coming in the Cloud Architects Notebook. A real world scenarios I'm trying to cover with my colleagues to ensure we provide our experience, right, throughout our software engineering journey to others as well. Thank you very much and have a nice day.